Welcome back to another episode of Easy Kitchen. It's Cinco de Mayo, so we're going south of the border to cook some really easy Carne Asada Quesadillas. Let's get this fiesta started. Okay, so first things first, we're going to start with the marinade for our steak. So I'm going to start with our liquids, and I'm just going to put it right into the bag with our steak. And we're using flank steak today. You can either use flank steak or skirt steak, whichever you prefer, just a thinner cut of steak so that it's easy to eat in the quesadilla. So we're going to start with a 1/4 cup of orange juice, whatever kind you like. We get the no pulp. Then we'll put that right in the bag. We're going to use an 1/8 cup of oil, just vegetable or canola oil for this. One that doesn't really have any taste. Don't want to take away from the steak. Okay. We're going to put 1 tablespoon of white vinegar in. Pouring this, I don't want to spill. And I spilled it anyways. Okay. About half teaspoon of salt. I like to just salt it or grind it into the cap first. Really lets me see how much I'm grinding out. And then about a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Just doing the same thing. Okay, and now we can get to the ingredients that we have to cut up. So I'm going to start with our lime, just the juice of 1 lime. Like to really roll it out first, get all those juices released. Okay, let's cut that in half. And squeeze it right into the bag. This marinade gives the steak a really, really good flavor, makes it nice and tender. Okay, the lime is juiced. We're gonna go in. We don't have to mince the garlic. All we're gonna do is crush the garlic. You just want to get these skins off of it first. That's sad. Okay. Again, I'm using 1 more clove than the recipe calls for, but it's my recipe. Okay, so we're just going to crush these same way we do to loosen up the skin. I'll get stuck on the bottom of the knife. This just goes right into the bag. Okay. We're going to chop up some cilantro. You can use cilantro to taste. I know not everybody likes cilantro. Some people love it, some people hate it. You can leave it out completely if you want, but it will change the flavor of your marinade. It doesn't have to be small pieces, it can just be a rough chop. Okay. I'm just going to put that into the bag. Okay. Take the top off, a little bit of the bottom. and then just give this a nice fine chop. If you want less spice, go ahead and remove the seeds and the ribs, which is just the white part in there. It's just the marinade, so regardless of if the seeds are in there or not, it's not going to be that spicy. Let's go ahead and chop this all up. Okay, and we'll put it in our bag with everything else. Want to be really careful with jalapenos. The juice will stay on them for a little while, or the juice will stay on everything it touches for a little while. Wash your hands really good, especially before taking out contacts. Okay. We're going to close up our bag. It's best to use a gallon-sized bag regardless of the size of your steak. That way everything can get nice and combined. The bag's not shutting. We're having difficulties. I'm going to try to get as much air out as possible. Then go ahead and massage it a little bit. Really work that marinade into the steak. Sides. Okay. We're going to go ahead and let this marinade sit for about 2 hours at the minimum, but no more than 12 hours because that acidic element in it will start to break down the meat, and we don't want that. So I'll see you in just a bit. Okay, now that we have our steak marinating, we're going to go ahead and start on our veggie filling. For the veggies, I'm using a white onion and then 3 bell peppers. I just want to cut the tops off of these, cut a little bit of the bottom off. What we're going to do with the peppers is just cut them into strips and make kind of like a fajita style pepper mix. We've got a yellow pepper, a green pepper, and a red pepper, just for some extra color. If you don't like peppers, by all means, you do not have to include them. We just like getting veggies into our diet. I'm gonna remove the middles here. And then discarding the seeds. Okay, our peppers are all cut up, so now we're going to go ahead and cut up our onion. We're going to do the same concept. We're going to slice it, but we're only going to be using about half of the onion. The other half we'll be using for a pico de gallo to put on top of our quesadillas. So we'll just keep that aside. We want to take the skin and then the first layer of onion off. You can keep the first layer. It's just a little kind of rubbery. It's kind of hard to break down. Okay, and then just do the same. We're just going to cut it into slices. I also kind of take out the first couple layers. I don't know why. I've just always done that. Okay, our pan is really hot here. I've got about a tablespoon of oil in it. I'm going to go ahead and get the spoon out. And we're going to toss all of our veggies into our pan. Our pan is smoking hot. Our veggies are in our pan here. Just gonna give them a quick stir. You want the heat at a medium to medium high. It's gonna give the veggies a nice char on them, which is gonna taste fantastic in the quesadillas. To season, we're going to do kind of a fajita seasoning. You can use fajita seasoning. I just combine salt, pepper, some paprika, cumin, garlic powder, onion powder. So just season however much or however little you want. And then I'm going to add a touch of cayenne pepper just for a little bit of added heat. Okay. And then give these a nice stir. And then we're going to let these cook for about 8 to 10 minutes, or just until you see the skins of the peppers getting charred and getting a little bit brown. And then in the meantime, I'll just check on our steak. Okay, our steak is looking fantastic. It's almost ready to go. While our veggies cook, I'm going to go ahead and get started on our Pico de Gallo. We're just going to use that as a topping on our quesadillas. So I'm going to get this other onion, or the other half of the onion cut up here. Again, just removing the skin and then that first layer of onion. And then we're just going to dice this.
¡Ay, qué bonito camina, chiquita!
Trying my hardest not to make a mess. I typically make the biggest mess when I'm cooking. I don't know why. Things just go everywhere. Okay. Okay, we're gonna cut up our tomatoes. I'm using plum tomatoes. You can use any kind of tomato you want. Just whatever your preference is. And then really quick, I'm just going to stir up our veggies. You can see that they're getting some really nice color there. They're smelling fantastic. They're almost ready to take off. Give them maybe another minute or so while we cut up our other tomato. We've got that into slices. Another thing that I like to do is removing the middle of the tomato and just cutting up the outer side. Okay, and then before I keep going, I'm just going to take our veggies off of the burner. Give it one more quick mix. You can really see the nice coloring on these. They smell even better than they look. Okay, so we'll turn off our heat. And then we'll grab a plate and set these aside. Alright, our tomato is cut up, so we're just going to add that to the bowl with our onion. And then we're also going to be adding in about half of a jalapeno. You can use the whole thing if you would like. Take the top off, the bottom. And then this one, you want more of a fine. Again, if you want less heat, you don't even have to put the jalapeno in. If you do want the jalapeno but don't want spicy, just go ahead and remove the seeds and the ribs. That'll significantly decrease the amount of spice. Okay, now that that's done, go ahead and put that in. We're gonna chop up a little bit more cilantro. Again, if you don't like cilantro, by all means, just don't put it in. You want the juice of a lime.
Y muévele, muévele, chiquitita.
That is ready to go. Next up, the steak. All right, it's time for the steak now. I've got my grill pan heating up, or it is heated up to 350 degrees. I highly, highly recommend a smokeless or indoor grill, especially for those of you who live in the cold. In the winters, it's really easy to grill in the winter time still. Okay, we'll put our steak on, and we'll do about 4 minutes per side. We'll go ahead and cover that up. See, I highly recommend a smokeless grill. It's really easy for apartments that don't allow grills, or if money's tight and you can't afford a real grill. This is definitely where it's at. We cook so much on it. We use the grill plate for steaks, burgers, anything. And then it also comes with like a griddle, so we use that to cook our pancakes on and French toast on. Just gives us a little bit more space instead of a skillet where you're a little bit more confined. So highly recommend one of these babies. If you don't have one or you can't get one, a skillet works just as well. Just make sure it's at kind of a higher heat, and it'll cook just the same. All right, our steak is just getting done cooking, so we're gonna go ahead, take it off, set it aside to rest. Okay. And then while that's resting, I'm gonna go ahead and prep for our quesadillas. Okay, it's time to assemble the quesadillas. I'm gonna start by putting one quesadilla on our griddle. As you can see, we have switched from the grill plate to the griddle plate. This thing is so versatile, I swear. Okay, I'm gonna put one on to start. Gonna put a little handful of cheese on it, just on one half. Okay, then we're gonna go in with some veggies. However many you want. If you have extra veggies, that's just fine. These are good. You can put them in eggs. You can eat them as just a side for burgers. You can really do anything with any of the leftovers. Okay, and then we're going to cut up our steak. You want to let the steak rest for about at least 5 minutes. Just to make sure it stays nice and juicy. I'm going to sneak a taste. That flavor is incredible. It's nice and subtle. Nothing's overpowering, it's just really, really light and flavorful. We're gonna put some of our pieces on here. You can make these into strips or you can dice it. Kind of just however you want to eat it. I'm gonna put 6 slices on each one. And then we're going to top it with some more cheese. Just another handful. Okay. And then flip this side over. And then I'll get to assembling the other one. beautiful. It smells and it looks so good. You can see in here we got the layers, you've got the steak, the cheese, the peppers. Looks absolutely perfect. Go ahead and put these on a plate. And then to top it, we're just gonna put some Pico de Gallo on our plate. And then just some regular sour cream as well. Now we're just gonna get this other one. Okay, and here you have it. A really easy, really simple carne asada quesadilla. For the full recipe, check out the description box below and head over to our Instagram page at easy_kitchen_. Can't wait to dig into this. Happy Cinco de Mayo!